period dramas are supposed to sweep you off your feet with romance and irresistible chemistry. But today, we're talking about the exact opposite. 10 on-screen couples so painfully mismatched, you wonder if they even liked each other. From Netflix's lifeless Lady Chatterley to Downton Abbey's most uncomfortable pairings, these period drama couples didn't just lack chemistry, they made romance feel like punishment. Netflix's recent adaptation of Lady Chatterley's lover stars Emma Corrin from The Crown and Jack O'Connell, who was phenomenal in Godless. It's a famously controversial story about an upper-class woman's passionate affair with her gamekeeper, supposed to be filled with intense, forbidden chemistry. That's literally the whole point of the story. But in this version, it's almost impressive how little chemistry Corrin and O'Connell have. Scenes meant to be fiery and passionate instead just feel awkward, forced, and completely flat. Which is extra frustrating because O'Connell is usually fantastic at creating believable relationships on screen. Compare this to the 2015 BBC version with Richard Madden and Holliday Grainger, which, even with its rushed editing and cutscenes, still had way more believable chemistry. Madden and Grainger were intense, electric together. Corrin and O'Connell? Not even close. In Water for Elephants, Robert Pattinson and Reese Witherspoon star as a couple falling in love behind the scenes at a Depression-era circus. The novel was romantic and emotional, but the movie adaptation just doesn't click at all, mainly because Pattinson and Witherspoon feel completely wrong together. It's actually uncomfortable watching them. They have such an obvious lack of chemistry, it genuinely feels more like a mother-son relationship than a romance. The age gap itself isn't necessarily the problem, but here, it completely sinks the whole love story. It doesn't help that Witherspoon is seriously miscast. You can't buy her at all as the circus performer Marlena. For a story entirely built around forbidden attraction, there has to be believable passion, and here, there's literally none. ITV's series Victoria follows Queen Victoria's early reign, starring Jenna Coleman as Victoria and Tom Hughes as Prince Albert, her eventual husband. This relationship is literally historical legend, one of the great love stories in British royal history. Yet Coleman and Hughes, despite dating throughout filming, somehow manage zero believable chemistry on screen. What's especially noticeable is how much better Coleman's chemistry was with Rufus Sewell, who plays Lord Melbourne, her prime minister and confidant. Their scenes together were so engaging, so genuinely electric, that the lack of any spark between Victoria and Albert is even more obvious by contrast. There's just something about real-life couples having terrible on-screen chemistry. And maybe that's the issue here. Because whatever Jenna Coleman and Tom Hughes had behind the scenes absolutely didn't translate to the screen. Albert and Victoria are supposed to be deeply in love. Here, you can't see it at all. In the film Becoming Jane, Anne Hathaway plays young Jane Austen, falling in love with Irish lawyer Tom Lefroy, played by James McAvoy. It's supposed to show the romance that inspired Austen's famous novels, but watching these two together is honestly painful. Anne Hathaway and James McAvoy are good actors individually, but together, there's absolutely no believable attraction. It feels forced, awkward, even dull, which is especially glaring if you compare it to McAvoy's performance in Atonement with Keira Knightley, released that same year. With Knightley, McAvoy's chemistry is natural, heartbreaking, powerful. You completely believe that intense connection. But with Hathaway, none of that intensity or passion exists. For a film specifically about Jane Austen experiencing deep, inspiring love, you simply can't have a couple that seems indifferent to each other. It ruins the entire point of the story. So, if you've never watched Downton Abbey, it's basically a huge British TV drama about a wealthy aristocratic family and their staff, set in the early 20th century. Lady Sybil Crawley, the family's rebellious youngest daughter, ends up falling for Tom Branson, the Irish chauffeur. At first, it seems pretty promising. Rich girl falling for working class guy, lots of potential drama there. But here's the thing. In season 1, the setup was solid. Come season 2, though, things get weird. Tom gets really pushy about the relationship, while Sybil seems reluctant and unsure. He just won't take no for an answer. On top of that, the show covers the entire span of World War I super fast, meaning their awkward relationship conversations drag out literally for years with zero resolution. Then suddenly, Sybil just gives in, mostly because Tom is her way to escape her family. Pretty much kills any real romance between them. Anna and Mr. Bates are another key couple in Downton Abbey suffering from lack of chemistry. She's a maid, he's the valet. Both work for the Crawley family. The show constantly throws tragedies at them. False accusations, murder trials, assaults, pretty much non-stop drama just to keep things interesting. And instead of dealing with problems together, Anna and Bates never seem able to actually communicate, turning every conflict into drawn-out misunderstandings and extra angst. Fans were honestly surprised when Anna suddenly confessed love for Bates early on. Up to that point, their relationship felt more friendly or fatherly, definitely not romantic. That awkward shift sets the tone for their whole relationship. What should be romantic feels forced and frustrating, creating endless melodrama rather than believable chemistry. The Gilded Age is basically Julian Fellowes' American version of Downton Abbey, set in late 1800s New York City with rival wealthy families. Marian Brooke, young and idealistic, meets Larry Russell, son of the ambitious, newly rich Russell family. At first, their romance looks set for a slow, gradual build-up. But Fellowes does his usual thing. Just like with Sybil and Tom, or Carson and Mrs. Hughes on Downton Abbey, he teases a slow-burn romance and then suddenly fast-forwards things. After very minimal development across Season 1, Marian and Larry abruptly start kissing by the end of Season 2, completely skipping over any believable build-up. It feels rushed and unnatural. Bad writing choices mixed with somewhat wooden performances mean viewers just can't buy their chemistry. Outlander started as a historical romance drama about Claire Randall, a World War II nurse who travels back in time and falls for the charismatic Scotsman Jamie Fraser. Huge fan favorite couple, tons of chemistry. But later seasons shift attention onto their daughter Brianna and her partner Roger Mackenzie. Totally different story. Basically, Roger and Brianna are widely seen as the weakest part of the show. Their relationship scenes, and especially their love scenes, are extremely awkward, cringe-inducing, and uncomfortable to watch. And the shift from Scotland to North Carolina, moving the focus from Jamie and Claire's intense chemistry to Roger and Brianna's total lack of it, is incredibly jarring for viewers. The actress playing Brianna improved since early seasons, but she's still stuck delivering awful dialogue. Feels like the writers have it out for her. Bottom line, their forced relationship drags down what used to be a compelling series. So, Jane Eyre, classic Gothic novel by Charlotte Bronte. Tons of adaptations, but here we're talking about the 2011 film starring Mia Wasikowska as Jane and Michael Fassbender as Rochester. Plot's famous. Young governess falls in love with her brooding, mysterious employer. Chemistry is key to making it work. Problem is, this 2011 adaptation seriously misses the mark. Mia Wasikowska's Jane is incredibly reserved, scowling, distant. She lacks the inner passion and emotional depth the character desperately needs. Fassbender's Rochester, charismatic and intense as he is, can't make up for the lack of energy from her side. It's never clear why Rochester would even fall for this particular version of Jane, since her character gives nothing back emotionally. Compare this to the BBC's 2006 series, which got praised for perfect chemistry between Jane and Rochester. There, Jane feels reserved, but still has clear passion simmering beneath. Rochester clearly sees her as his equal, making their connection believable. That crucial dynamic just never happens in the 2011 version, making the whole relationship fall flat. The 2005 adaptation of Pride and Prejudice, the one starring Keira Knightley as Elizabeth Bennet, was supposed to be this lush, romantic retelling of Jane Austen's classic novel. And sure, visually it's gorgeous. But when it comes to Jane Bennet and Mr. Bingley, played by Rosamund Pike and Simon Woods, there's just zero chemistry there. What makes this even weirder is that Pike and Woods actually dated in real life for years before filming. You'd expect something, a spark, some warmth. But no, nothing at all. They're totally stiff, awkward, wooden together, like they barely even know each other. A love story like this only works if there's genuine connection between characters, and here you just don't see it. It makes an already questionable adaptation even more disappointing.